All right, we're really winding down here and kind of want to just put a couple of final thoughts together for you as you get ready to put your final plan together and also for your presentation. So, a couple things over here. Um, this is you get to the table of contents. If you click on that, this is actually a video that was done by somebody else. It's just, I think, 3 or 4 minutes long, but it shows you a real simple way to set up a table of contents. So I really advise you to take a look at that. You know, if you're already extremely familiar with Word, maybe you don't need that, but it really gives you a simple format, simple way to set up a table of contents, and also actually help organize your plan a little bit. So please give that a view. It'll help you as you go to set that up. Okay. So the final, right? These are just places where you're going to submit your stuff, right? The completed plan. Presentation will go in here, and I'll talk a little bit about presentations. I'm not sure why I have a broken topic there. This is the rubric that I use to correct, and so nothing for you to put there. It's simply available to you if you want to take a look at the things that I'll be looking at when I correct or grade your final plan. Okay. Organizing the plan. So there's a little PowerPoint on that. It's really short, won't take me very long, but how should we start putting this thing together,
Welcome
right?
to your first PowerPoint.
Oops, I got audio on there as well. I'll try to
For the
avoid
cover
that.
page, you
We're going to have a
simply need the
cover
information
page,
that I
right?
have on this slide.
Okay,
That
that's
would be
extremely
enough detail
important to have a good
purposes
cover
of
page.
our outline.
If you want to put some decorations on it or whatever, that's kind of fine. Something that maybe fits your particular business or whatever. Don't have any problems with that. It should have the business name, right? The address that you're going to use and the people involved in the project. So the students, you students that are involved in that project. Okay, the date, who the presentation is for. So you could say it's for, entrepreneurship class. What's that? BMGT 448. I'm not even sure what the number is. Isn't that? And you can certainly put my name on there if you want. It could have other pertinent information. One thing that a lot of students like to put on there maybe is if they've written what they think is a good mission statement. Good thing to put on the cover page, right? Other things like that, if you want to decorate it up a little bit, that's fine. Your table of contents you're going to save for the last, right? That'll be the last thing that you do because you got to have everything else put together. Your executive summary is the last thing that you've actually written. That was assigned a while back, so you guys should be close to having those done.
And now for the rest of these.
Next, okay, these are the order of the things. I need to go back, right? So when you finish, your table of contents is going to be first. The executive summary is going to be the next thing that shows up. It's actually the first two narrative pages that we want to read, okay? The next section, I believe, should be the description of the business. After the executive summary, we jump into that. You describe your business thoroughly, so I have a really good idea of what it is. Then the organizational and management plan, or management organization plan, right? Plus references and, brief descriptions. That's what we have in that, right, of the supporting documents. You may want to go and make sure that within that section you've made reference to those documents in the appendix, so that if I'm reading through and you talk about your resumes, it says see appendix. It's difficult in Word to really isolate, I guess, those things in the appendix. So if you just say appendix, I think for our purposes that's going to be okay. If you had PDF Pro, you can do a few more things with that. You might be able to do it with Word. You probably do it with Publisher, but it also might get a little bit more complicated. So the marketing plan then comes after that management and organization portion, so you put that in there. And then your financial plan, which is the narrative part, is the part that goes here, is what I'm talking about. Right, and again, kind of make a reference. You should go back and look at that and make sure that there's a reference to the financial documents or the worksheet, workbook that's in the appendix. Okay, then your supporting documents are in the appendix, right? Okay, Should you, should you take and use the snipping tool? Probably, yes, and put all the financial documents from your Excel workbook into the appendix, yeah. And you can use the snipping tool and copy and paste those right into that appendix. If you want to do like your cash flow, your your annual income statement and those things, you want to turn those sideways, that's fine. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. It actually enlarges the print then and would make it a little bit easier to read, even though it's going to look funny, I guess, on the computer. But if we printed these out and put them together, it would actually make that a little bit easier to read. So feel free to do that. Okay, that's it for that, right? Putting that together. Then the other thing, and I don't have it on here, I guess, but is going to be the presentations. Okay, and yes, I expect you to do a presentation of your plan, no more than 15 minutes, so relatively short. Okay, and you're just going to go through the highlights. If there are more than one of you, if you're not together, my suggestion there would be simply divide it up, and that's fine. If one of you wants to do the first half of it and one of you wants to do the second half of it, something like that is perfectly fine, or each of you do a little section of it, kind of alternate. If you have the ability to put that together, that's fine. Many of you probably have better ways of doing this than what I can describe. What I use for these little videos that I do, and it works pretty good, is simply it's called BB Flashback. Okay, and it's good. You download the program, though it takes up a little room on your computer. Another good one, and might be easier to upload because it saves it in like an MP4, and then you can just upload it to me. When you do BB Flashback, I obviously, as you guys have noticed, when I save those in and ship them out to you, I've uploaded them to YouTube. If you have a YouTube account, that's very simple, and please do that. That's fine. But if not, there's another one that's called, I don't think I've got the link on it here, but it's simply called, I'll type it in, but it's Screencast, there it is, yep, Screencast-O-Matic. And you don't have to upload anything on this one. You can simply record for free. You kind of follow the prompts. You're limited to 15 minutes, but that's fine, right? Because I've limited you to 15 minutes anyhow, so it should work. And again, if there's 2 or 3 of you and you each want to divide it up and you submit 3 different ones, just label them presentation 1, presentation 2, presentation 3, or something like that, so I know which one to go through first. Works pretty simple, and this way you could create some slides, which you should. Maybe some PowerPoints that you would use, or Google Docs or Google whatever they have, or PDF. You can set those up and use those so that you do have some visuals, and you should have some visuals. They don't have to be dramatic. If you got a photo of the place you're thinking of doing business, that's great. That can be in there. If you want to do some graphs, and show some of the financial stuff, that's fine. Okay. You shouldn't have a ton of visuals, but you should have some, right? That just kind of explains what you're doing. It also helps you through doing the presentation itself. You kind of set that up as a little bit of an outline for yourself and discuss those things. So that's what you have to look forward to. Those will be due, the presentations will be due in the finals week. The actual plan I'll probably have you do at the very end of the week before finals, right? So I can get those and start correcting them. They're take me a long time to get those looked over and corrected. So we'll try to get those in a little bit earlier, the presentations maybe during finals week. So there you have it. That's getting us close to the end. So good luck. I look forward to reading your final business plans and also seeing your presentations.